Hello and welcome to Beyond the Cookbook. Today I have another beautiful Mexican recipe. Today we're making Tacos Dorados, or the rolled up deep fried taquitos that we make traditionally down in Mexico. Other names for this kind of taquitos: flautas, tacos dorados, or rolled up taquitos. So I will also show you how to make a delicious salsa that goes really well with this dish. Please, if you're ready to join me on this journey, let's begin. Okay, to begin this process, you will need tomatoes, garlic, onion, and jalapeno. Place them in the oven for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. Next step will be some potatoes. We gotta get our potatoes ready. So we're gonna have to wash, rinse our potatoes, and peel them. Get rid of all the skin. Once you finish peeling your potatoes, you are gonna cut them into quarters, because I like to speed up the process of my potatoes. So I have my water ready. I'm gonna add my potatoes in there. It's nice, the water is nice and hot. So I'm gonna probably boil them for about 15 minutes. Okay, so I waited my 15 minutes. Now I need a fork to make sure they're nice and soft. And they're nice and soft. So now I will put them in a little bowl, because the next step, it's very easy, and it's just to mash them. Almost like making mashed potatoes. However, we don't need any milk. We don't need any liquid in this step. Okay, I have my potatoes aside. Salt to taste. Very important to add a little bit of salt at least. And mash your potatoes. They don't have to be too smooth. You can leave some small chunks. That's also fine. And I will mix some cheese. In this case, I'm using some marble cheese. You could use mozzarella or just cheddar, whatever cheese you like. I like this nice mix. So I'm gonna use 1 cup of potato, now that it's cold, so I can actually handle the potatoes, and some cheese. And I'm gonna mix it. And you do have to wait until the potatoes are cold, so your cheese doesn't melt too much. So room temperature for your potatoes would be best. Okay, I'll add the rest of my cheese and continue to mix. The consistency you will need for this mix is nice and thick. It can't be watery at all, because you need it to stand nice and thick when you roll it in the taco. The next step is extremely important. You have to set your station, organize it really well, because once you're frying, it's going to be a really fast process. So get your skillet nice and hot. I would say about 1/2 inch of oil. So this is what you will just wait until it's nice and hot. So set it in high. And now get a couple tortillas. Once your oil is nice and hot, dip it in. This step is important because it will soften the tortilla so you can roll it properly. Okay, so you're gonna repeat the same process quite a few times, as many times as necessary. Depends on how large your family is. So now that your tortillas are nice and soft, because you dipped them into the oil, you start putting your filling in with your potato and your cheese. You could substitute the cheese for some chicken, or you can do chicken and cheese, or you can do potato and chicken, ground beef and potato, any mix you like. Today we wanted to go vegetarian, so we're doing potato and cheese. So yeah, you align the filling all throughout your tortilla so you can roll it out really smoothly. Don't put too much. Okay, so you will continue the process quite a few times, as I said. And even if you lose a tiny side of the tortilla, that's okay. You can still use it because you're gonna roll it up and nobody will be able to tell. Once I have at least 4, I like to roll 4 and then fry 4, because 4 is usually between 3 and 4. That's the amount of tacos a person will usually have. So I do 1 order per time. This step is also extremely important. You gotta make sure the ends of the tortilla is in the bottom of the skillet and hold it for a few seconds. I'll say 3-4 seconds so the tortilla doesn't split open. So you wanna make sure you kind of seal it with the oil. Once it's cooked in the bottom, you can let go and then add the next one and the next one and the next one. Frying your taquitos won't take very long. I'll say about 5 minutes, so you can't walk away from this process. Okay, my first taquito is ready, so just get rid of the excess grease that you might have by just tilting it to the side. And you can use a paper towel as well. So we finished frying our taquitos this way on a skillet with a little oil. If you have a actual fryer, you can put them in the basket. Remember, the end of the tortilla has to be in the bottom of the basket. In this case, you can place all 4 tacos or 3 tacos, however many you need. Remember, you can't just drop the basket all the way in the oil. You have to hold it for a few seconds so you can fry the bottom part of the tortillas so they won't split open. So hold it for 5 seconds and boom! 5 minutes later, we're good to go. They're nice and ready, so crispy, so crunchy. Let's get rid of the excess oil and yum! That looks really good. Okay, I'm placing my taquitos right on my plate. There's still a few steps that I have to do in this point. We have to add the salad. You have to add your lettuce, tomato, onion if you like onions. And yes, it's salsa time. Remember, we put it in the oven about 45 minutes ago. All we have to do is mashed. So I have to put it in my molcajete, or you can use whatever you have to make salsa. So I'm mashing, grinding, putting it in the molcajete. I'm gonna make a nice crunchy salsa for myself. Get the tomatoes, get them nice and chunky, just the way I like it. Okay, So now I have to work on my jalapeno. This jalapeno is not too spicy, so I'm gonna use half of my tomatoes are gonna have jalapeno and the other half it's not gonna have it. So I had to split my 2 parts of salsa. Okay, this jalapeno it's ready to get some tomato. So let's mix the tomato and then mix it a little bit more. The salsa is almost ready. Don't forget to add salt to taste. Okay, my chunky salsa is now ready. For the other part of my salsa, I'm gonna actually use a hand blender. As I mentioned, my daughter doesn't like spiciness and doesn't like chunky salsas. So I removed the jalapeno and I'm gonna blend it and make it really nice and smooth for her. You will need to add a little splash of water. Okay, blend it a little more until you get the right consistency or the consistency you like. That looks about perfect for us. So now I'm gonna place it in our bowl. As you can see, using the same ingredients, tomato, onion, and garlic, you can choose each way, whatever way you like for your salsa. My daughter likes it smooth and I like it a little chunky. Add your salad, your sour cream, your salsa, and you have a fabulous dish. Enjoy! Buen provecho! Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And bye, moms and dads. And bye, boys and girls.
See you next video.
See you next video. Bye, boys and girls. Bye, bye, boys and girls. And bye, moms and dads.
See you next video.
See you next video. Bye, boys and girls.
Good job.